They call him the peaceful one, but don't mistake restraint for weakness. To understand the man, you have to understand his home. The Betta imbellis isn't a creature of the open river. He is a product of the margins, the stagnant swamps and rice paddies of the Malay Peninsula. While we often associate these fish with deep tannin stained black water, the imbellis is a master of adaptation. You'll find them in the acidic tea-coloured shadows, but also in the crystal clear margins of rice paddies, slow moving streams, grassy roadside ditches, as well as swamps and marshes. And we'll be sticking with clear water in this aquarium, at least for now. The common thread isn't the colour of the water, it's the movement or lack of it. They seek out the static zones, whether it's a clear paddy field or a black water pool. The imbellis demands stillness. High oxygen is traded for cover, flow is traded for security, meaning a gentle aquarium flow is essential for this fish. In clear water, their iridescence reflects the sun, blending them into the light dappled weeds. In black water they become nearly invisible, only revealing themselves when the light hits just right. To build for them is to choose which version of their world you want to capture. You can easily change this at different times by adding black water. For this build, we're recreating a deeply vegetated swamp. Clear water for now, but maybe black water in the future. The skeleton of this marsh isn't just for show. We're using dragonwood to bridge the gap between water and the land. By terracing the back of the tank, we're creating a stage, an elevated shelf for the heavy vegetation to take root. This terrace mimics the collapsing banks of a swamp. It gives us depth, creates natural caves, and crucially allows us to layer our environment. To turn this terrace into a functional planter, we have to seal the seams. In order to do that, we're using small plastic plant pots and silicone to create a deep planter behind the wood. It's a precision seal that will stop the soil leaking into the water column, allowing more depth for planting. This ensures our nutrient-rich soil stays behind the wall, leaving our foreground pristine. Behind the wall, we lay the engine of the tank, a specialised soil to fuel a dense marshy growth. This isn't just a skate, it's a living filter, designed to mimic the fertile banks of the Malayan Peninsula. Finally, we lay the floor, an inch layer of organic compost or aquatic compost, followed by the ochre sand. The sand's golden foundation provides a visual contrast against our dark terrace, a warm shoreline for our swamp, which closely represents sand in certain areas of these habitats. The soul of this build is the Colocasia. In the wild marshes of Southeast Asia, these aren't just plants, they are the canopy. By placing this as our centrepiece, we're creating a riparian zone, allowing the roots to drink from the nutrient-rich soil, whilst the leaves dominate in the air above. This is the reality: shallow, stagnant and incredibly dense. Whether it's a sun-baked paddy or a shadowed swamp, these environments are defined by this vertical transition, where the land literally falls into the water. In the wild, these fish often thrive in shallow waters. It's a world of flooded roots and grass. By submerging our terrace, we aren't just decorating, we are recreating a flooded bank where the boundaries of land and water disappear. Every plant species chosen here has a purpose. We're sticking with plants native to the Malay Peninsula. These are species that evolved in low light and stagnant conditions. They won't just survive, they will thrive in it, pulling nitrates from the soil and providing the dense cover that imbellis demands. We're building a sunken forest. The roots of the Colocasia will eventually weave through our dragonwood terrace, locking the ecosystem together and creating a natural playground for the peaceful one. But in the meantime, we'll be using some old dried twigs to replicate the roots. The final layer isn't about structure, it's about chemistry and realism. To turn a tank into a marsh, we need the right infusion. I've curated this selection of botanicals specifically from Southeast Asia. The same leaves and pods that fall into the stagnant pools of the Malay Peninsula. These aren't just aesthetic choices. By using region-accurate botanicals, we are introducing the exact humic substances that imbellis evolved with. This selection of botanicals is the blueprint for recreating that native water profile, stabilising the environment while providing realism and making a home these fish deserve. This is the world the peaceful one was built for. Now it's time to introduce the fish. And I'm sure you've noticed the better tank mates earlier on in the video. Whilst looking around the local fish store, something unexpected caught my eye. A small, unassuming school of fish I never expected to see in person. The Somphong Rasbora. Once thought to be extinct due to severe habitat loss, it is still one of the world's most threatened species. Although the initial plan was to buy Harlequin Rasboras, I didn't want to miss the opportunity to acquire these fish. And even though they aren't totally biotope correct, they thrive in environments much the same as the Betta imbellis. In the wild and in this tank, these fish will act as diller fish. Their presence tells the Betta that the coast is clear, reducing stress and encouraging the group to explore the open reaches of the marsh. And now it's time for the imbellis. We aren't just releasing a fish, we're introducing a society. Unlike the aggressive splendens, the imbellis is a much more social animal. In a space this well structured, they can exist in a group. A hierarchy of shimmering emerald and deep red. This is the peaceful fighter in its true element. They display, they signal, they defend their territory, but they rarely destroy. We've built more than a tank. We've captured a fragment of the Malay Peninsula, from the ochre floor to the flooded forest above. This is the balance of the marsh. They call him the peaceful one, but don't mistake restraint for weakness.